welcome Periscope, welcome Twitch, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. YouTube, knock, knock. Okay, it's there. All right, welcome everybody on the live and the replay. We're going to have a fantastic show. I can feel it. I'm shaking in my boots with my brother over here. It's going to be real. All right, well, I'm going to play the intro. We'll be back in a minute, 19 seconds, to give people time to come in. How's it going, everybody? We don't really have a sponsor. We have collaborators and co-creators, and one of those is Radiance magazine, published by Scott Ware and his team. They can be found at radiancemm.com because there's also a digital version of this magazine. They've been kind enough to put us in several issues, including the second page when you go in, which talks all about SoulSpeak 5D. This month's edition, they actually print 6 times a year, every 2 months. But the one that's coming out, that's out now, we don't have a copy. He's going to send us some. He's got Morgan. Morgan's featured in there. She was featured in before. Good magazine. Very much along the lines of what we talk about on this show and at SOULSPEAKS and what Martin does. And we're looking to collaborate with that energy, the energy at Radiance and Scott Ware and his beloved Maria. In the future, we don't really know what's going to happen with it, but we're going to just keep connecting and see what we can come up with. Martin McNicholl's in the house, and everybody knows Martin. It takes a lot to put yourself out there, and more people are doing it, which is fantastic. That's what it's all about. I think that's what the universe is going to require from all of us, which is really us requiring it of ourselves, to maximize our potential in this incarnation as a climax for all the incarnations we've had and all the experiences we've had. But one of the things that I really admire about Martin is that he just gets out there and does it, and he doesn't look back. And that's such a great example for other people, who are now starting to step up. So I want to say, Martin, thank you very much for your service to humanity, for your service to yourself, to your service to others. And I'm so happy to see such a beautiful mirror that is proving our reality, the truth of our reality, which is evidenced by the lives of the people that are doing it. Because it's not just somebody sitting in front of a camera. You've got a beautiful, beloved partner and a beautiful child. You are the physical representation of the Holy Trinity, and it's nice to see, So thank you for putting that out, man, because I know it's not easy all the time.
Thank you, bro. Well, I am honored to be here again with the SOULOgy, my brother. It's amazing, brother. And like, it just we got to put ourselves out there. We have to. We've been hiding. I've been hiding, like before that and before that, and to be ourselves is truly the easiest thing. It might feel difficult. It might feel like we're going through, throwing off these shackles and stuff. But being ourselves is the easiest thing in the world. Actually, we'll just be conditioned to believe that we're something else, or we have to pretend, or we have to wear this mask here and this mask here. So, thank you for that beautiful introduction and reflected right back to you. It's an honor to be here as always.
Yeah, I love collaborating with you, but I have this sense of, I've been saying this for a while. It's time. When I get on the radio show, I'm like, we got to walk the talk now. It's time to walk the talk, and I have this sense of, I don't know what you would call it, sense of knowing that, as the previous show kind of set the table, that Todd may have to walk the talk on this show, since you tend to be a catalyst for me. Yeah. And another thing about you too is good to see, because, in fairness to everybody, this is, we're all going through the same thing, and we're learning not to judge. We're learning to observe. People ask me, how can you do a show after show after show? And I told Morgan over the last 2-3 weeks that, it's getting more difficult to do that. Normally I can turn it on, I can be out discombobulated, turn on the camera, and I'm good to go. But I'm finding that the universe, the you, me, we, and it, is requiring that I bring to the shows more and more of what I'm feeling and who I am and what I'm becoming or what I'm remembering. So to your point, and the reason I brought that up is because you're very public about everything, both what you pull in, let's just say what you disperse on a professional level. That's not the right word, but also what you're going through on a personal level. And I look at you and go, oh my God, how's he doing this? So I know it's not always easy to show up, and so that's where we're at. Now, you were talking earlier about, we were talking before the show a little bit about what's going on, however you want to put it. And I was telling you that, this last few days, this distorted masculine is just ripping my balls, man. I mean, like, it's ripping my balls off, and literally saying to me at the most core levels, plural, you can't take that with you. You got to get rid of that. You don't have a dick anymore. You don't have anything that where you're not going. You have to let it go. And I thought I had done, and I know I have, like we all have, mountains of work, but I have not I've never had these deaths, these little deaths, the ego dying, where it's really, really impacted me, for very long. But this is huge. This hurts. For the first time, I can say that what is nothing more, nothing less than ego deaths, it's fucking hurts, man. And I'm happy and everything's cool. Don't get me wrong. But there's a part of me that's just like a deep grief, man. Big time.
Yeah. Death.
Can you relate to this, by the way?
Can I ever? I think the last time we talked, that's all I talked. Probably the last 2 times, I think that's all I've talked about. That's been my whole year. It's just been death after death after death. And I know we go through similar like cycles and like very similar timings of like very precise. And we were talking just before.
Yeah.
And on the 31st on Halloween, like I had like what you call distorted masculine come up in a way that I've not seen for like I didn't recognize it. It was horrendous and it was horrible and it needed to die and it didn't go easily. And I thought I'd gone through some deaths and I thought I've given up saying I've done the work. I'm just want to delete that shit because I've done nothing. I've done nothing. Nada. I haven't done anything. And I'm being shown that not every time, but I'm being shown it like every time you think you've done the work. I'm just going to stop saying that, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I'm
But
with you.
it was
I'm with
intense.
you.
Oh, it was. It was like unrecognizable, and it was like so. And as you said, I'm blessed to live with an angel, and if it wasn't, she's the only angel on this earth that could live with me and be with the craziness that I go through. And you'll understand. You'll understand it. It's like, and she just holds like just divine space and just gives me space and total like neutrality and like balance, and it's just like if I wasn't with this divine angel, I don't know. I say I'd be gone. I wouldn't be here. I don't think I'd be here, to be honest. I'd been off out of here. So it's been blessing, but a challenge, a big challenge. It's not easy. And I'm like you, like before, no matter what shit was going on, no matter how low I felt, I come in here and turn on the camera and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
That for me, I'm with you on that. Like that has changed a little bit for me.
Yeah.
It's not just like as easy as it was before.
Yeah.
It's like really the dregs, the, the absolute core of this distorted energy, core of these inversions are coming up to be, you know, dissolved, to, you know, merged, I suppose, more so into this new light, this new essence. But it doesn't let go easy. I don't know about you,
No, it doesn't. It
but
doesn't. And it's like you
Mm,
know, I can equate this to Morgan, and to, like, say I had three coaches when I was a kid, you know, a teenager, that really had a big impact on me. And one of them had such an impact on me that I became a straight A student. I took his history class and I made straight hundreds. And then I transferred it to other classes, was making straight hundreds on test. And I'd been, you know, like a B student that didn't apply himself all the time. But the other thing would, and what I'm saying about the coaches is, it's not that it's never enough, but there's always more, right? And so with Morgan, it's the same. You know, she used to back more in the day as this was developing, you know, 1,500, 2,000 shows ago, and she came in and infused her energy, and it became more of an accurate replica of the energies playing out, because it's based on a feminine masculine conception and golden child. But she would say to me, you know, you might try this or you might try that. And, you know, and sometimes, because I was like all of us, more shadowed back then. and I'd be like, what the hell? You know, like, why are you messing with me? And she'd say, because I want you to be the best you can be. And what do? Mic drop. You know, like, what can you say to that? That's pure love. That's direct. And I think this is where I'm going with it, is that there is this directness that we're finding our way with, that's not aggressive, and it's not, you know, debilitating. It's just the truth. And I think we're dealing with that with ourselves, obviously, and
yeah,
now we're carrying it out to others. And it's an interesting unfoldment, you know, on the collective with this.
absolutely. How are you feeling physically in your body? How is your body?
Look at my head. You see that? So when so now, if you could see my scalp, it's all over my scalp now too. And this isn't like psoriasis or anything like. I've had since about the time I met Morgan in 2015. I started waking up with this red. Sometimes it looks like a heart. This red dryness right on my third eye. Always there, nowhere else. So this has been going on for several days in a more acute way than normal. And today when I woke up, it was like, holy geez, like my whole scalp, you know, because unfortunately my hair is thinning out, and you could see all these splotches, and it's just, I can smell. I had to take a shower. I can smell metal on my skin.
Yeah,
You know, as far as like discomfort, not really at all, you
okay,
know, but I will have definite signs of purging
yeah,
and of cellular, molecular, atomic transformation with physical evidence, and I think this is part of it. But
Absolutely.
but as far as like discomfort, no, I've been okay. How about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been like really focused on the body for the last sort of month or month and a half. I really got guidance that I really needed to look after that. But it's the reason I asked, and it's interesting that you mentioned the metals, because one of the deepest held toxins in our body are metals. And these are one of the
Yeah,
things that have kept us in our consciousness where it's been. And that these influxes of light now, there's other processes that we've done to bring them out. But now this influx of light is bringing those to the surface, and they're going to escape in whatever way they can. So it's so interesting you say that, because that's where I was going, is that the deepest hell stuff on the physical level, of course, energetic, that goes to the deepest
yeah,
parts of our being. That's what's coming out now. And again, that stuff is deep generational in the carbon-based DNA. And we've had, we're in that process of that. And Gaia is purging that as we are cells in the body of Gaia. She's doing that as well. So for me, it's been challenging, but I kind of got out ahead of that one for once, where I knew I had to really take care of the body. So it's been good, but it's really interesting because I was going to ask about that, because I'm seeing that and feeling this very deeply held metals is like
yeah,
heavy metals,
yeah,
cellular, right down to the deepest parts of our cells. No stone's been left unturned now,
yeah,
and that's going to be like, that is a challenge. That's going to be uncomfortable for people going through. Um, Time spent in nature, being in nature alone with the trees, with the plants, with the animals, is going to help that purging process under direct sunlight, even if it's cloudy and stuff like that. Being outside in the elements, beside the trees, all of that thing is going to be really important for that process. And I'm doing that continuously. I'm blessed to be in a space where I can. But yeah, the body is going to be so important leading up to 2112, because it's preparing our vehicle. You can't put an old 67 vehicle, where we're going with this body.
yeah,
It needs to be cleansed. It needs to be cleansed, and that's all levels: energetic, physical, mental, emotional. So yeah, that's where we're at. I feel that's going to manifest in so many different ways for people. So it's just really important to be mindful, be really caring. Really, I was given something this morning, and I want to just share it with you. Is So work that we've done before, let's say we have challenges in relationships before, we might try and put ourselves in the other shoes, or we're trying to see what's the reflection. But what I was given this morning, it was early this morning, was to begin, and you can do this with your body, is to begin not to speak or see the perspective of the other person, or not to see the reflection, is to speak as the other person. It's to become, that there's no separation, and it's to become your body, the purging. Like, you could, speak as the aspect of what is moving through you, from your forehead, from your head, wherever else. It's to
yeah,
begin to, it's the separation. Everything, the whole game is built on separation. The whole
yeah,
illusion is built on separation. So wherever we have separation built in, wherever we have other, wherever there is a person that has control, or a person that has effect, they are where it's inbuilt separation. And it's very subtle throughout all of the kind of spiritual practices, and even our community. So what was given today was to begin, if it's a challenge in a relationship, you're not beginning to see what are they reflecting to me. I am them. I
yeah,
speak as them. Let's say, we talked about it before, all of the entities that are ready to leave, but we're still holding on to them. They're playing their role perfectly for us at the moment. Instead of trying to see what they're doing, what's happening, speak as them. They are me.
yeah,
What are they trying to tell me, and what are they showing about me? So it's to dissolve even reflection,
yeah,
to dissolve any separation whatsoever. And that's going to come in the body, it's going to come in relationships, it's going to come in the world. And this is like, it's just to singularity.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that can be a
yeah.
challenge.
Well, that goes in line with what I was talking about on the first show, which had been coming to me, which is I'm having a real hard time. I'm getting a charge, and I say charge, I don't mean like a charge like positive or negative. I mean like someone takes a cattle prod and sticks it in my backside, you know, and that's when I speak. When I speak, even with 1% judgment, or I hear somebody doing it. That's what I went off on this morning about somebody putting a post up and pointing people out, and it wasn't the first one. I took it a little further, and it was my thing that I needed to sit with, which I talked about. But um, with this, that what you're talking about, I mean, I know it all merges together. There seems to be, and you are one of the men out there that get some really good intel, like Franco, but like a lot of the women do, as far as collective intel, what's happening. Um, but so, like in regard to the metals, because there were several people that said, "Oh my God, my sweat smells different the last 2 weeks," and so on and so on. So there does seem to be something there's collective evidence that it's not just you, it's not just me. There's something happening there. That transformation is taking on a physicality that we have evidence of, and so on. But what, from your perspective, what is it that's being released right now? What is this? This. You know what I mean?
So the physical, of course, is it's the most limited part of us, and it's also the last part to reflect the shifts. So these deeply, deeply held metals have been infused in everything.
Yeah.
We don't need to go into too much here,
Yeah.
but if you look into it, anyone watching now, they'll know it's been infused in everything since way back.
Yeah.
And those are not something like, you eat something bad, it moves through you. Those go to the deepest depths, and they are at the depths of our physicality, our structure. And that's why they were so potent, and that's why we've been so dumbed down, to be honest, and asleep. So this is the good news. This is the final stage of the uncovering of all of the darkness, all of the manipulation, all of the separation, all of the parts of where we've separated ourselves, all of the parts where we've been seen to be, believed ourselves to be victims, believed ourselves to be minions, believed ourselves to be controllable and manipulated. This, on an energetic level, has been uncovered and is moving through, but the final line or the manifestation will come through the physical body. So for me, that's a good sign that you're experiencing that, because that's the deepest level of where we've been held, where we've held ourselves, I should say. We need to be so careful in our language now, because it's so built in as well. It's where we have held ourselves in our own cage. Let's say our own metal cages we've held ourselves in. Now they're dissolving and coming out. This representative of the separation where we were us and them, powerful, powerless. It's a physical manifestation, but it's the end of the line. So that's a good sign. But it's leading up to 2112, which I believe is the most significant date since 2012 on the same date. And I believe the birthing, the labor of New Earth, and the perspective that has been shown is that we are into our new stage as children of Gaia on New Earth.
Yeah.
Everything is overlaid, everything is existing. But wherever you see separation now, wherever you see judgment, wherever you see here and there, this and that, us and them, especially in spiritual community, especially in your own country, you're going to see it now and across the world, that is representative and it's perfect. It's happening exactly as it should, but we have to, as our dear friend, stay in your own lane, Melissa, what she shared, that is more important than ever. But that own lane is not putting anyone else out. Your own lane is everything and everyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. A man was on 3 or 4 days ago, and you reminded me with what you said. He said it's what is it, a Taoist thing, that the caged tiger is caged not by the bars, but by the space in between the bars, right?
Mm.
So you're talking about the metals, and as I'm listening to you, I'm getting at some level that they're the physical representation of what we've chosen to hold on to.
Yes.
I also feel a lot of resonance with what you said about 1221 or 2112, because a lot of people are pointing to that date in a different way than they have in the past. Like we always said, hey, the winter solstice is coming, and that's a big
Yeah.
boom. But this is something feels a little bit different, and I guess you can kind of feel it too, like a crescendo building.
Yeah.
I know Morgan pulled it up in March when the masculine and feminine energy conceived the golden child, which would be born all around on or around December 21. And then just recently, a few weeks ago, she was getting, over a period of days, she wrote down some words, and it was all culminating around 18, 19, 20, 21. All that period in December.
Mm.
But what it feels like to me, and I think what you're alluding to, and what you've even said, it's like a real verifiable, even to the human. I got to see things, and you got to explain it to me. Even to that part of us, it looks like it's a real game changer,
Yeah.
almost. I mean, like a really big leap. Is that what you're feeling?
So this is where I have to be careful as well in what I share, is that significance is immense. That significance is immense, but everything is potential and everything is individual in nature for each of us. So how each of us interact with that, how we see it and perceive it, and how ultimately we experience that event will be individual. Because it's important to
Yeah.
share that there's
Yeah.
not this blanket where everyone just gets lifted up in this effortless
Yeah.
that I think that sort of idea is, people wish for it a lot. They're hoping for it a lot, and that it comes into that kind of savior complex idea. This is a potential, but I feel, that's why I share, it's the most significant potential that we have in recent times. But that's individual in nature, and it'll depend on how much you've done the work. So
Agree.
you're going to say it again, but that's within your story and within your dream, within the individual. How are you individually going to approach this? What is it going to mean to you? What are you going to make it mean? How
Yeah.
are you going to align with these energies that have the potential for, yes, hugely significant transformations, I feel.
Yeah. She also had gotten that, and this is all entangled. I can feel it. It's all the same thing energetically. She's getting deep seated shame, uh, self destructive, self sabotaging programs. Um,
Mm.
I- you know, I, if I look back at what I'm currently going through, and it is, I have to say, it is the most, I don't know how far I can go with this. Um, Fuck it. So if in this journey, in Todd's journey with Morgan, with me, with the universe, soulogy, and whatever, just Todd, the person, Todd, who speaks to the universe and has always spoken to the universe, who has these conversations to to come closer to me, to align. I don't know how to explain it, but this has been, um, this has come up several times. It's not an attachment, and it's beyond a desire. I ask the universe, I say, let's have a talk, you know. Um, and the universe says to me, what is the one thing that you would want to do in this moment? And I think about it. And I said many times, I would want to take what's inside of me, the pure love, and express it to Morgan Lee in physical, spiritual, etherical, energetic intimacy all rolled into one. So I have a conception of what that is. And the universe is telling me, let that go. And it sounds pretty simple. And I think this could be applied to anything, because what I'm learning is it's not going to happen until I let it go. And I don't know why I can't let it go. I'm letting it go piece by piece by piece. But to me, that's kind of what the way it works. You know, when we let go of something, it always comes back in a bigger way, but you can't let go thinking, oh, it's going to come back, so all I got to do is let it go. No, it's not like that. Just like you said, that's why it reminded me of it, that this is happening, but it's not going to be just one blanket, uniform, linear time moment flash, because you can't get something for nothing. And there is a constant in this transition we call ascension, which is where the universe and you are mano a mano, in that place of no bullshit that says, hey, none of this was real, but there's a reality that you're a part of that has a physicality which is rarely or if ever been done. And you guys are on the cusp of literally bringing down the heavens and all that it represents, but you got to let this stuff go. And I'm living it. Like, I'm talking about, I'm flat out told, you know, don't go there in intimacy. Don't think about your dick. You're not going to get hard. You're not going to be allowed to do this and do that. You can't even go there. And I'm laying there going, what do I do? You know, and it must be the energy of those deep metals within my body that are being pulled out. And I don't know how it works for women, but as a man, I knew how much I identified my persona and myself with my sexual prowess, right? But I did not know that it went that it's, I'm not even there yet. That it's, I mean, I'm in like a fucking abyss here. I'm in the bottom of a cavern like 2 miles deep, and I'm still falling. I did not know it went that deep. And I'm glad. I'm not saying this. I love when you say, I've got to be careful how I say this and what I say, but I do absolutely resonate with this 1221 and in the description you gave about this is the last one. I don't mean the last one like we were talking about earlier, but like this is definitely a huge threshold that we're crossing. I'm not saying that because I want to save your mentality, save your programming mentality. I want to jump on the bandwagon. I actually feel that that's happening, but I also know that the space between today from 9/11, here we go. It's this day that's 2020. The space between here and 12/21, I don't feel that I'm going to have a chance to stop and take a breath and put my feet up on the desk. I have a feeling I'm going to be very busy with myself ripping this shit out, Thank you for letting me go off on that.
Thank you for sharing that profound, beautiful, beautiful sharing. And there's just one message that I want to deliver to you, through you, as you let it go by knowing it is already so.
Yeah.
It is already so. Now.
Yeah.
It is already so now.
Yes. It's already so.
When you can come into that space, you don't have to reach for it. You don't have to find out how to do it. You don't have to comment. It's already so. And you are uncovering it. You're not finding the way of making it happen. You are discovering it. And that's the gift. That's the journey. That's why we're all here. It's the unwrapping the present. It's the actual process that we're here for, not a destination. Everyone's looking for a destination or thinking there's a destination. There is no destination. It's the process. It's the conversations that you have. It's the beauty that you have in communion with these angels that we've drawn into our lives and everyone else together in this family. It's the process. It's not an end in itself. It's every step. It's every tear. It's every, joyful laughter. It's every word. It's all now.
Yeah. And then there's the silence. Man, I just I just felt a huge ball of energy move from my solar to my heart. And I just wet my pants. It's Kundalini experiences online.
That's so OG. I love it.
Well, it is what it is. We'll have to start wearing Depends diapers. It is. It's God. It's beyond. Sometimes we've had experiences when we put our hands together at night, and energy visits us or whatever. However you want to put that. And there's been a few times that the energy has been so reverent, like holy, like it's always positive, it's always illuminated, it's always full of code, but there's been a few times that it's just been like, and in another time in our intimacy, when Todd's clear, when it's all intuitive, or in that space, right? And that's what it feels like to me. As much as I've bled the last few days in privacy, I didn't even bring her into it. I told her last night, I'm dying. Like I'm fucking dying. And I don't want to talk about it. Not because I'm afraid to, just because I need to work this out myself. And but given all that and all the things that are going on, which I don't even care in the collective, it's a joke. And I don't mean that in disrespect. I just mean it's not going to hit me. This is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And from now to the 21st, I'm going to get through that damn needle. I have the needle. And so I'm going to be ripping this shit off, as much as I can. But given all of that, I feel this building presence, the essence of holy, of reverence. Like I feel it. Like I can feel it in my cells. I can feel it in my bones. And this is for all of us.
Yeah.
and it's getting bigger and bigger. Do you feel this?
I do. I do. Like you, I have my moments. I have my moments where I'm in such clarity and such like just there's no wavering. Like they are few and far between, I'll be honest. But it only takes a tiny chink of light to light up a whole space. You only need one being of light in a huge space to expand it. So the fact that we are in touch with that momentary, that's all it's needed. So I have my moments and then I fall off, and I have my moments and I fall off. But this reverence and this holiness, again, what my feeling is that this is coming back to the reverence of the true self. It's coming back to the reverence, the holy union of one, the holy union of one. Not again, it's the dissolving that separation. It's the dissolving that space between the bars that keeps prison. I love that. It's that everything comes back into union, and you are living that, and many of us are living that through this divine other. And as we do that, that holiness, that reverence, that recognition of thy holy self becomes more prevalent. And everything that is out of alignment with that is going to get so like apparent and so clear, because it just it can't stay in that same frequency, and it can't be held. But the physical body and our emotional bodies and all the etheric records, everything are strongly, we're strongly identified with them. That reverence, that holiness, that energy, that union is like so powerful. It's so beyond the concept of powerful that none of these things can actually affect it. But we also have the ability for us to focus on these patterns, to focus on what I did before, or who am I in this relationship, or who am I in this circumstance in the world. We've our identity, our addiction to our identity is the strength that's holding it back. But that wave, that tsunami of the truth is going to brush that aside. But if we hold on, that pain will be felt as a tsunami. If we try and resist that unity that we have the power to resist it. We're going to hold on, seemingly some of us, tooth and nail, for whatever reason we want to do that. We will experience, it's again, that letting go. It's that letting go. And it's easily said. It's easy for me to say, it's easy for you to say it, but actually letting go.
Yeah. Well, and in fairness, because we have spent so much time damning ourselves and judging ourselves, even as we've elevated. But it's, well, you're right. I mean, when it comes to the subject that I'm talking about, which is just a specific example of the energetics playing field, I've held on. I'm not going to deny it. There are, in fairness, though, to everybody, there are unconscious things we're holding on to, and I think that's the. And Morgan's always said the first step to transformation is awareness, and we also know this year that as things have come into our awareness and as energy has hit us, which is probably the same thing, we're able to process these things quicker and quicker and quicker and get back on our feet. But this period that we just went through, the latter part of September, which was huge, and I'm not going to go into the details. We've talked about this, and other people have had their own experiences that lined up with it energetically. There seemed to be a period in the first 2 weeks of October that was very much a solitary integration period. Franco talked about it. That was the end of I think about a 9-week period that he had called months ago about integration to the deepest levels. And by the way, his forecast is through the end of up to the 2112. It's going to be even more and more of it, just pulling out the last pieces, a lot like what you just said. But so now we're in this space, and these things are happening out there, right, on the global stage, and I look at myself and even my relationship and my partner. Obviously, these are places I can look to gauge what's happening.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing that I've not seen to the degree that I'm seeing it prior is transformation of friends and acquaintances. I can think of two. Last night I talked to one of them I've known since he was the first person I ever talked to Soulogy about outside of being online. You know, when I was bartending and he'd come in for a beer. Uh, we were very close, and I said, "What the hell's going on, dude?" Like he's kind of quiet, you know, yeah, you know, not real out there. But 2 weeks ago, he went through the ring of fire or something because he's come out, and because that purity in him, that feminine, you know, that softness, that soft power, which he was afraid to bring out. He told me last night. He said my throat chakra opened up. I went through what Todd and Martin are talking about. I went through a few days. I'm crying all day long. I don't even know why. And the next thing I know, I woke up and I was like, holy shiitake mushrooms. And he's become a digital warrior in the best of the sense, right? And then the other one I talked to was beautiful. I've been out of touch with him for quite a while. He was in he had connected with, he's from the States. He had connected with a woman in another country who had some dynamics going on, but they met and it was one of those meetings, you know, where things just went, woo. She's got children. She's got other dynamics going on. He has challenges and so on. I hadn't talked to this brother in over a year. And back then, it was very chaotic, like for a lot of us. There was a lot of movement in 2019. Um, and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Oh, I'm about to head off to Europe and start my new life." And I just got filled with tears. Actually, I was just so moved. I went took the trash out and I read it, and I'm standing there thinking, I can't walk back in here like it's snot coming out of my nose, you know. But I saw, like we can see more now, right? You know, and I saw his devotion, his loyalty, their love, the universal reciprocity, the faith in motion, and I'm seeing a lot of that. And I can't think of a better sign than that, to see this happening in the physical mirrors, the human being.
Yeah. And what I feel is so important about that is that it's recognized and shared in the way that you do it, like really recognize it, really appreciate it, feel the beauty of it, tell us men, shout it from the rooftops, and notice that within yourself and notice that within others, and try to see, especially in the polarized world, try and see that in the other, try and see that in those apparently opposed, or though apparently, you know, in another space. Begin to see those and recognize those and celebrate those and intensify that energy. That's where we'll hit critical mass. That's where we'll hit this tipping point collectively, so that we discover that, like, that energy that's in everyone, that fire that's in everyone, whether it's relationship, whether it's their what they're here to bring to the world. That fire is kindling within everyone in various degrees, but we're going to reach this critical mass collectively where it spills over and it just envelops. And again, individually, how we experience that is entirely up to us. But whenever you appreciate that and you share that and you see, like, you know, that could have been just a nice story, he's gone off to Europe, but what did you see? You seen the depth of it, you seen
Yeah,
below the story, you
yeah,
seen what the essence was, and that's the gold. That's the gold within
yeah,
all of us.
yeah.
And if we can see that in the
Yeah,
apparently darkness in the world, then we're free.
yeah,
You can see that in the apparent opposing sides, or all of the details we don't need to go into. If we see that in all of that, or see some glimmer of that, then we are free.
yeah, yeah. Man, this is a lot to take in. Mm. Don't you? I don't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying hate like as a term of endearment, like being a smartass. But don't you hate it when the universe, your higher self, whatever, is knocking on tapping you on the shoulder like it's doing to me right now, and telling you, go do it, go do it, go do it. And you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And it's saying, go do it. Go do it. And one thing I've learned about that is that once it starts that, it doesn't stop it. You might wait a week or 2 weeks or a year or whatever, but it's not going to go away. So
knocks the door, you don't answer the door, puts in the window, you know that, rips the roof off.
yeah.
This is gone. You talk about hate, like I was telling you just before, I think we talked before we came online. It was on Halloween on 31st on Samhain. I was in war. I was at war with my higher self. You talk about, I was like in such resistance. I was at war. It sounds even crazy for me to even say this out loud, but I was at war. I was just like, no, fuck this. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm like, we're so, I'm not gonna say, I am so like, it's for your good. It's for your highest good, and every part of you knows it. But there's just this stubborn, fucking annoying part that just clings and just holds. It just wants to. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I was at war, and it was not pretty, not pretty at all.
I haven't had that of an intensity. I have what you're talking about many times back in the day. Especially before Morgan came and there was any, unification in our lives as far as being together. There was always stop, start, and then doing this, but I had many of those, and I learned that if I could, I learned that I always got results. Number one, and number two, I finally figured out that I didn't have to go into these deep, gut-wrenching emotions. I could actually channel them into the alchemic, process. And but I just think it's kind of funny because it is funny, and I like the way you describe it because it's like it's why. And I can tell you, like in my case, there's many things. There's many streams, like with all of us. You got soulogy, and you got this, and you got that, and you got your relation. But what's been happening, and this actually happened 2 nights ago when we did another open mic, and I'm watching all these different people do different things, and I just got like this snapshot of this is a very viable energetic expression where people get on and do this light language and do these things that if they were doing them in a park somewhere, people would be walking by going, you're fucking weird, and so this is the calling. Now, I don't know what it is yet for me personally, but they're like, you need to take the lead on this. You need to put it out there. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, man, I don't really care to do light language and, stuff like that. I'd rather rap, or I'd rather do a show or have a, whatever. But there was something to it. And I think it has to do with the value of silence that we're coming back into, presence, listening. And I think it has to do with code exchange. So if I look at these, 12, 14 people that were on the other night, it's not something I would go listen to.
Look how many people you've got online.
Huh? 144. Yeah. But it's but I can see the value of it. And it's not even the light language itself. And they said it. Many of them said it on the show. thank you for letting me come in and do this. Or I said to this one lady, hey, nice to meet you. Never seen you before. I said, what are you going to do? She goes, I don't know. And the next thing you know, she's light languaging and doing, whatever. And, but there's something about watching them do that. It's a physical, a powerful physical representation of transformation, of getting that tap on. Because I can tell you, I'm getting the tap on the shoulder, and I typically don't have a problem busting the move, but they're tapping me on the shoulder, and I can feel what it is, and I'm going, man, I don't want to do that, But this is where the gold is. When this is it. I mean, this is actually it. When we can step up and just like you said at the beginning, just be ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 144 just confirmed it there as you spoke. I was watching it because I seen it hovering around. I say, I'm just going to pay attention to when this 144 hits and what's he going to be talking about. And it's just what you were just sharing about these coming together, the community, the silence, the sacred sound.
Yeah.
But I think it's community. That's what 144 represents there. In that case for me is that it's that community coming together, being yourself. Someone's in silence, holding space. Someone's out there, sharing their light language, whatever their unique expression is. They don't know why they're doing it, but they know there is a call to it, and it can't be ignored anymore. It's going to be it's just going to be such a strong pull that it's just going to happen. And I think the part of us where we're very similar, we're like, we think we have to do something. We don't have to do shit. We don't have to do anything. True. We just think we have to do something. We don't have to do anything. We need to get out of the way, get out of our own way. And it's that we believe that I got to do something, or I have to do something, or what. We don't have to do anything.
True. Yeah. Unless your higher self's tapping you on the shoulder.
I can see it. I can see it going on. I wasn't getting tapped. I was getting sledgehammered. Across the head, and the roof and everything was gone.
Man, wow. So, so you're always busy, man. And I say that, I mean, I admire that. But I get going, like we said in the messages. We get going.
Oh my God.
We're just doing our thing, and the next thing you know, it's 6 weeks go by, and we're doing a show. And after we were going to try to talk 15 times, right?
That message.
So, what are you? So, what are you getting into right now? Where are you putting your focus and your energy? Because you've done a lot of things since I've known you for a couple of years.
Right now, I have no clue. I have no fucking clue. I have any less of a clue if I try. Like, I have no idea. I seriously, I have no idea. I don't know. I wish I did. That part of me was like, I'm just like, oh my God. I don't know. But I swear that's the simple answer. I haven't got a clue.
Yeah,
I know it's perfect. I know it's just unfolding and something's coming, but simple answer, I don't have a clue.
That's Angela Dwell said it best. She said that's a perfect answer, Martin. Well, it is though. It's no different than what you said at the beginning of the show when you said I just keep getting pushed back into the space of I am nothing.
Yeah,
which is the same thing. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, but yeah, there's a it's so amazing too because so many of these little catchphrase cliche phrases actually are when you actually feel it and experience it are actually right on the money.
Absolutely.
Such as I am nothing, I am everything. I've hit that several times in the last few weeks, and a very powerful peace comes in, and I'm like, I'm laying next to Morgan, and we have our hands together, and I'm like, like from a human level, what is this? This is what we do. Now we're going to connect, and then all of a sudden, nothingness. Mm-hmm. And then I have to look at her energy and and it's interesting because it was a couple of times what'll happen is I'll look and we're one and the same. Like energetically, and then it kind of goes, oh, okay, we're one, and out of the room, now we're all one. So this like nothingness is not a nothingness. You know what I mean? It's weird.
It's already so.
Yeah. True that. True that. I think too of another thing that she called. Let's see, God, what year is this? Jesus Christ. Okay, so this several months ago, when we were on the road in Florida, and we were having these, we were having our typical stuff happen. We had dragons for whatever was going on. Reptilians came in and with different things, and I remember we had a really big one, and I said, "Wow, I wonder they're actually gonna come in and they're gonna materialize beyond translucent." They're going to be like us, flesh. And she goes, no. I said, what do you mean? No, it's I know I'm right, And she says, no, it's us. It's going to be us. And I was like, oh, snap. Like it's going to be Martin. It's going to be Todd. It's going to be Morgan. It's going to be Candace, Bruce. We're actually, it's almost like those experience of our aspects of ourselves are becoming embodied too. So those are going to go away. And we're going to be seen in each other. I really, really feel that to the bones.
I can't agree more. And I just love how you articulate this, and I love how you share. You said that I share, but you do this as well. You do this so well, and you do it so subtly. You do it with it's a mastery. You do it with a mastery. The way you bring this, and you mold it in a way that it's very it's easily assimilated by our fellow humans, our fellow divine beings. So it's important that you recognize that as well and continue to bring that. And I feel something, just going back to what you shared earlier, is for you not so much stepping up, but that aspect of where you come in on your own, like solo shows. Those are gold beyond gold. And those are, I could feel such a strong, powerful energy that's, I don't know if you're resisting that. I don't think you are, but there's something there that's so powerful, and like it lit fire under my ass many days. And I feel like that really, in this next, in the process that you're going through and that we're all going through, I feel like that's something that's really, really, really powerful and really beneficial to you and to all, if you're feeling the call.
Yeah. No, and you're right, Martin. And I think it's for everybody, Yeah. And I appreciate what you said. But you're absolutely right. And it's not the first time I've heard it. I mostly don't hear it from incarnated mirrors, but that's what I hear. They're like, you're not stepping, you're holding back. And I think this is what we're all hearing. And I'm like, short conversation. I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? I'm on 3-4 times a day. What are you talking about? And they're like, no. That's not it. And it's not even about a physical action necessarily. It's about really owning this. Like, for instance, if I look at the fear programming that's starting to have a false flag frequency and it's falling on its face, as you described earlier in the show, I have short conversations with people if it comes up. I'm like, what the hell am I? What can they do to me? I'm an eternal soul. And they can physically kill you, then I'll come right back. I've done it before, so, it's like my way of owning it. But like everybody else, like I said at the top of the show, I have this feeling, now I know why, because you just opened it in my head. You want to walk the talk? You want to talk about walking the talk, Todd? Then walk the fucking talk. Take it up. to the next level. That's what we're doing anyway. It's like you said, it's never going to stop. You know,
No destination.
what do you do? You sit there and you know go down, descend. We've already been there. We're looking for fresh territory, or what Michael was talking about. Morgan was talking about last night: stagnation, or we expand. And I think I really feel that the human hybrid species, whatever that is, these universal soldiers, the universe has been leading us. We've reached for guides and aspects and divine essences and so on. And now I believe we're taking the lead. I really do. In embodiment, in alignment, in faith, and owning that shift. I mean, I believe that we may have been the lesser, the low species on the totem pole by our own whatever. That's
Yeah.
right. But this is the coming out party. This is the coronation. And by God, there is nobody on the face of the earth that has any idea what it's going to be like. But like you said, get the hell out of the way, because whatever the universe has in store for us is something far greater than we could ever imagine for ourselves.
Absolutely.
It's always so. Yeah, I leave my conversations with you with a more open mind. And I think I'm pretty open-minded. But usually it's open-minded of your own in here, not like, oh, I can be more compassionate out here. No, it's in here. It's like, okay, you got work to do. I thank you for that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the reflection. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for, and I just want to just quickly just step back. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't believe that you are not stepping up or that you've been holding back. I believe you have created this soil, you've created this foundation that is so strong, that is so deep, that it's just time now that's going to birth in all, not just you, in all everything that you've done. And it's like it's been perfect. It's been so perfect because like the soil is like everything that has been put together and lifetimes and eons of stuff, and it's all there. And it's just at that point now where the new buds are moving through, and it's like you've been the fertilizer for that. And that part of you now is just going to bloom and flow and grow in ways that we've never imagined before, like all of us. But you've created this such a powerful, deep foundation that we needed, because we built shit on I don't have to tell you, we built it on sand before.
Yeah.
We built it on sand before. Where did it go? It went in the water. We know that. This is deep. This is lasting. This is something that is not going to crumble. This is not going to shift. This is like our roots are so deep now, and that's what I feel that you've done. And you've provided it in a way that's brought people in that otherwise couldn't see it, couldn't hear it. You use a language, and there's an energy behind it that speaks to people in a way that bypasses a lot of their conditioning, bypasses a lot of their judgment. And so I just want to say that it's not like back. It's not like you have to do some more work.
I know. I know. I get what you're saying. Yeah. And I thank you. And I want to say too that, I've always understood that soulogy is a small mirror of the universe at frequencies, so never expanding vibration. And, it's no doctrine, no dogma, but it's literally a non-physical, physical integration of the universal energy that is expanding and materializing. And I think it's important. It's not, I was going to say a little bit ironic, but it's not ironic. It's important. It's an important distinction to make. I wanted to launch this website a year and a half ago. I borrowed money. I set it all up. This isn't about Todd Morgan. This is about the energy. And I'm making a point here. In April or May or whatever it was of 2019, the energies were not balanced. The masculine was still too distorted and the feminine was still taking the higher ground, or whatever you want to put it. And this is energy we're talking about in all of us. Now, the physical representation of that was that Morgan, in her infinite wisdom, said, because I was in the mode of what you said we don't have to do. I was like, we got to do this and we got to do that. And we got to do this and we got to do that. And she said, why? Why not just let it happen? This is the voice that's coming up that I feel is coming into its own in all of us, like my friend last night, whose throat chakra opened 2 weeks ago. I can think of many examples, myself included. And so I think it's an important distinction to make that it's happening now. I know it's happening. I've received this for 9 years. You know, from up there. I never understood it, but I really get it now. And I believe it's because the feminine took the lead. Like, I look at my life now after this 2-3 weeks ago, when my feminine energy came in and stayed with me for a couple of days or whatever that was, began the embodiment process. I went from that point on, I thought, oh, okay. Because I always try to break it down. How can I say this in a blurb to myself, not to people? Well, from this point forward, you got to run it by the feminine, right? Like she here, she's creation. You're the creator. Now, what does the creator do? He gets a cart before the horse. He wants to go out and do, do this and do that. It's like a wild Mustang. That feminine part of us tames that Mustang, tames it, which makes it a little softer, but makes it more powerful. And I think that Soulogy is a replica, like you're a replica and I'm a replica and everyone else, of what the energetic playing field looks like. And again, that's another great sign leading up to the 2112 or 2012 thing. Or what is, how do you say that? 1221.
We said the right way around. You said back to front.
I know we do. Morgan reminds me every day.
We put the date in the month, and you put the month in the date. I never really understood that, but it's good fun. We get the good reflection back and forward. 2112 and 1221.
But it feels good.
Right?
It feels good. It feels right, and I say that for all of us, because I'm looking at these names go by. I know many of these people personally. Some of them I met in person, and obviously on the show. And the transformation is obvious in everyone.
Absolutely.
And that's a beautiful thing, you know, it really is. So we're going to get together again on 1811. I got it. 1811. We're going to get together and we're going to resurrect the Three Musketeers.
Come on. I love it. Yes.
Martin,
so excited.
Michael, and Medina, the three M's, the Eminem. I don't know how to say it.
But all the M's.
Yeah.
So 18th, yes, 18th, 10:30. Thank you so much for
your time. Yeah. So we'll have David Icke and Sandra Walter come on after that, and then we'll come on, and I think we'll have a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Really looking forward.
I wanted to set the intention, you know, before we go, and that we, and by the way, that's a full moon, which we didn't know when it happened. You can't make this shit up, man. But that we can, among other things, start to pull together the Lightworker Starseed Way Shower Circle with that of the Disclosure and Conspiracy platforms. And I'm going to say that straight up to them. And I'm going to tell them who we are, who all of us are, and how we have the same life path he does. You know, he was woken up, he was guided, he's followed the guidance, he was called stupid, ridiculed, and all that other stuff, and here we are. So I just want to set that intention, and thank you everybody for your energy, your love and support and contributions. Allow us to keep doing this by the seat of our pants every day, which is just fine because that's how the 5D works. Martin, I love you. I appreciate
you. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for everyone for watching.
Yeah.
And yeah, support Soulogy. Get behind these guys. Incredible work. You don't know how challenging it is to do this when you're curled up in your bed and your tears, and then you have to get up and do this. Come on.
Yeah. Hopefully, I won't have any tears. I did have a few a while ago, but those were good tears. All right, brother. I love you. I'll see you on the 18th.
Blessings.
I'll bless you.
Chat before that. We got to do it.
What's that?
We got to chat before that. My God, they got this other thing.
Yeah. We need to do that. When do you want to do it? Might as well talk about it. You want to do it? Let's see. Well, I don't know. So you're 5 hours. So you're 8:18. 8:18. I can do it. I need to take a breather, but I could do it tonight. I mean, in another 30 minutes or so, if you want to.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
30 minutes.
Yeah, easy.
Or at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock your time. How about that?
Yeah, it's good.
It's not too late.
It's fine. It's good.
All right, I'm gonna. I'll send you a message in the link.
Okay.
At 9 o'clock your time. Okay. All right. Love you. Take care.
Ciao.